Let's be clear. This is not just a story about heartbreak. It's an indictment of bad choices and a carefully detailed invoice, listing the full cost of regret. When avoidants are in a relationship, they often take your presence for granted. Instead of seeing you as a rare gift, they begin to see you as a given. Like air, always available, always reliable, always infinite. They don't recognize the value of your loyalty until the very moment they start to suffocate without it. Every second chance you gave them, they didn't see as grace. They interpreted it as permission. Every time you extended patience, they confused it with weakness. Your deep understanding was mistaken for naivety. Your consistent love was mislabeled as desperation. Their fear of intimacy distorted the truth, twisting your strength into something fragile, and that distortion became their greatest mistake. In their world, you weren't treated as a priority. You were treated as an insurance policy, a safe harbor they could always return to after they drifted into chaos. But here's the truth about harbors. Any of them can be permanently closed. And when that door finally seals shut, the debt comes due. The emotional check is cashed, and the price of their choices begins to haunt them. At first, they call it freedom. They think silence is peace. No difficult conversations, no expectations to meet, no intimacy to navigate. It feels like relief. But this freedom is hollow. It's not sanctuary. It's emptiness. They don't realize they've traded temporary discomfort for long-term isolation. And the realization doesn't crash in like a tidal wave. It seeps in slowly, through cracks in their daily life. Their thumb hovers over your name in their phone, out of old habit, before the painful reminder hits. They no longer have access to you. A song plays on the radio, and for a moment, they think, she would love this. Until reality cuts in like a knife. That song is no longer your shared moment. It's just another reminder of the silence. Days become weeks, weeks turn into months, and the silence grows louder. The absence becomes deafening. Suddenly, their victories feel hollow because there is no one to celebrate them. Their failures feel heavier because there is no safe place to rest. And deep inside, they begin to realize the truth. They didn't just lose a relationship. They demolished an entire ecosystem, one built around the safety, love, and patience you gave so freely. Time does not heal this for them. For most, time is a gentle balm. But for avoidants who pushed love away, time embalms. It preserves the regret, making it sharper, clearer, and harder to ignore. Part 2, Chapter 1. The deafening silence. When an avoidant first pushes you away, they often feel relief. To them, the absence of your presence feels like freedom. No more tough conversations. No more intimacy that feels overwhelming. No more responsibility to show up consistently. They convince themselves this silence is peace. But soon, that silence starts to echo. Here's the harsh reality. What feels like relief in the beginning slowly transforms into emptiness. They wake up one morning and realize that the quiet isn't freedom at all. It's loneliness. The apartment that once felt like their safe space now feels more like a vacuum. Every corner echoing with what used to be. It doesn't hit them all at once. Instead, it seeps in quietly. When they hear a song that reminds them of you, when their hand almost reaches for the phone to share a funny moment, when they accomplish something and realize no one is there to celebrate it with them. These tiny, almost invisible moments build into something massive, the crushing silence of your absence. From my perspective, this is the first and most brutal price avoidants pay. It's not the dramatic breakup scene, not the heated words exchanged. It's the weight of ordinary days without you. Because you weren't just a partner, you were their safe harbor, their mirror, their constant. And when that disappears, life becomes colorless. Avoidants often underestimate the value of consistency. The little things, the way you remembered their deadlines or their favorite comfort food. They thought they could live without it. But in the silence, they realized what they've really lost wasn't pressure. It was love. And that's when regret starts creeping in. Part 3, Chapter 2, Haunted by Your Ghost. If silence is the first price avoidants pay, the second is even harsher. Being haunted by the memories of you. They thought time would erase you, that distance would weaken the bond. But here's the truth. Time doesn't heal what they destroyed. It magnifies it. Instead of fading, the memories sharpen. The sound of your laugh, the way your presence filled a room, the comfort of knowing someone truly understood them, all of it comes back in sharper focus than ever before. And these aren't abstract thoughts. They show up in the smallest, cruelest ways. They can't drink their morning coffee without remembering exactly how you liked yours. They can't walk past the park you once visited together without feeling a pang of regret. They can't even scroll through their playlist without stumbling across a song that feels like a knife to the chest because it was once your song. Here's the irony. The very things they once found overwhelming, your closeness, your attention, your consistency, are now the exact things they crave. But instead of having them, all they have are shadows, echoes, and ghosts. From my perspective, this is where regret turns from a whisper into a scream. At first, they miss your presence. Now they are haunted by your absence. And the haunting isn't just about missing you. It's about missing who they were when they were with you. Because let's be honest, you saw a version of them they couldn't see themselves. You loved them despite their walls. You believed in their potential when they doubted it. And when they lost you, they didn't just lose a partner. They lost the one person who reflected back their best self. That's the ghost they can't escape. It's not just your laugh or your touch. It's the person they were becoming in your presence. And now, every new experience feels empty. Every victory feels hollow, because deep down, they know they destroyed something irreplaceable. Part 4. Trying to replace the irreplaceable. By this stage, the silence has sunk in, and the haunting is relentless. But avoidants rarely sit still with regret. They panic. And panic drives them into one of the harshest prices they'll ever pay, the desperate hunt to replace you. They convince themselves they're ready to move on, that they can find someone new who will fill the void. Dating apps get re-downloaded, wardrobes refreshed, smiles rehearsed in mirrors. Outwardly, it looks like progress, but underneath, it's not desire driving them, it's desperation. The problem is simple, yet brutal. No one compares to you. Every new date becomes a cruel reminder of what they lost. Someone laughs, but it's not your laugh. Someone listens, but they don't get their inside jokes the way you did. Someone is attractive, but they don't bring that same sense of safety and warmth you gave effortlessly. Here's the harsh truth. They're not searching for love. They're searching for you in another body. And that search is doomed from the start. Because love isn't something you can replace like furniture. It's unique, forged in shared moments, inside jokes, silent glances, and battles fought side by side. Even when they meet someone who seems perfect on paper, kind, funny, attractive, stable, something's missing. They wait for the spark, that soul-deep connection they once had with you. But it never comes. Their heart stays flat, empty, silent. And that's when the full weight of their mistake hits them. They didn't just lose a relationship. They lost the relationship, the one that made all others pale in comparison, the one they'll measure every future connection against. From my perspective, this is the cruelest price of all. Not just loneliness, but the realization that even in a crowd, even in the arms of someone new, they'll still feel alone. Because they're not chasing love anymore, they're chasing your ghost. And no matter how far they run, it always outruns them. Part 5. Crushed by the weight of regret. When emptiness is no longer just a passing feeling, but becomes a permanent weight, that's when the avoidant finally pays the harshest price. At this stage, they realize there's no one else to blame. Not you, not circumstances, not the fear of intimacy. Every ounce of their suffering comes directly from their own choices. They begin to replay the moments that now feel like evidence against them. When you tried to have a heartfelt conversation, they deflected with silence or humor. When you planned something meaningful, they dismissed it with excuses. When you said, "I love you," with your whole heart, they couldn't respond, hiding behind cold, empty words. Those memories now stand like witnesses in an internal courtroom where they are both the accused and the judge. The verdict is clear. They lost you forever, and it was entirely self-inflicted. But the deeper pain isn't just losing you, it's losing trust in themselves. If they could be so catastrophically wrong about you, about love, about the one thing in life that truly mattered, how can they trust themselves to be right about anything else? Suddenly, every decision, career, friendships, even the smallest daily choices, feels like a gamble they're destined to lose. This is the true weight of regret. Not only the absence of you, but the constant whisper of self-condemnation. You had someone who loved you exactly as you are, and you walked away. You had someone who believed in your dreams, and you chose fear instead. You had someone who made you feel safe, and you destroyed it. The harsh reality settles in. Some mistakes cannot be undone. Some chances don't come back. Some doors, once closed, never open again. And that's when they finally understand the cruelest truth of all. They didn't just lose you. They lost the version of themselves they could only be with you. And they will carry that weight for the rest of their life. Part 6. The finality of a locked door. There comes a moment when even the most stubborn avoidant can no longer deny the truth. The door is locked, and it will never open again. For a long time, they lived in denial, convincing themselves you were just angry, just taking space, that somehow, someday, you would still be there. But as they see you building a new life without them, the fantasy collapses. They watch from a distance, your photos, your laughter, your growth, and realize you are not waiting. You are not broken. You are not circling back to give them another chance. Instead, you are thriving. Your peace is brighter without their chaos. Your joy is deeper without their uncertainty. And that truth cuts sharper than any fight ever could. They were not essential to your happiness. In fact, they may have been the obstacle to it. This is where the avoidant pays the ultimate price. Not just losing you, but losing you forever. They come to see that your patience wasn't infinite. Your forgiveness wasn't endless. Your love wasn't unconditional in the sense they imagined. Every act of grace you gave was like currency. And they spent it all, recklessly, until there was nothing left. No dramatic grand gesture will reopen the door. No apology, no "I miss you," no late-night message can undo the finality of your decision. The chapter is closed. Not in anger, but with quiet dignity. The kind of ending that leaves no room for return. And in that silence, they finally face the reality they spent their whole life avoiding. Some losses are permanent. Some mistakes define you. Some loves only come once. The harshest price of all is not that they lost you, it's that they lost the only chance to experience love that was safe, patient, and real. And once that chance is gone, it never comes back. Part 7. Your liberation. While the avoidant is trapped in the weight of regret, you are stepping into something far greater. Liberation. You no longer carry the heavy burden of trying to love someone who refused to be loved. You no longer twist yourself into knots, begging for scraps of affection, or silencing your needs to keep the peace. That version of you, the one who tolerated their distance, excused their coldness, and questioned your own worth, is gone. Now you are free, free to give your love where it's valued, free to stand in your truth without fear of rejection, free to choose peace over chaos, clarity over confusion, and connection over avoidance. The energy you once poured into keeping them close is now fueling your growth, your joy, your future. And here's the beautiful paradox. The moment you stop needing them, you become unforgettable to them. Your absence becomes a constant reminder of everything they threw away. They will think of you when they're alone, when they see others who can't match your depth, when silence feels heavier than words. That's the price they pay, living with the memory of what they lost, while you move forward without looking back. Your story doesn't end with a regret. It begins with your freedom. And every step you take away from them is proof that you are always the one with the real strength, the real courage, and the real capacity to love. They avoided love, but you didn't. You embraced it fully. And now, you're free to find someone who will embrace it with you. Because the harshest price for them becomes the sweetest liberation for you.